Have you ever had that weird feeling that your phone is, listening to you? An ad pops up for a coffee shop you literally just walked past. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not a coincidence and it's definitely not magic. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible tech that makes it all happen. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're just scrolling through your feed, minding your own business, and boom, there's an ad for a new bakery that's right around the corner. It feels a little strange, right? Maybe even a bit spooky. But the truth is, it's just really, really smart technology. So let's dive into it. This is the world of what's called hyper-local advertising. And it's more than just ads that seem to follow you around. This technology is completely changing the game for you, for advertisers, and for all those small businesses right in your neighborhood. Okay, so what is it exactly? At its heart, hyperlocal targeting is all about surgical precision. I mean, think about it. Instead of a company basically carpet bombing an entire city with ads and just hoping something sticks, they can now use a laser to target a single city block. That shift from just guessing to knowing, it's a really, really big deal. And to really get why this is such a revolution, you have to understand the classic headache that advertisers have been dealing with forever. How do you spend your money so that it actually works without just throwing most of it away? Just look at the difference. The old way was a total guessing game. You'd blast a message out to a huge area, crossing your fingers that the right people saw it. You'd have one plan for TV, a totally separate one for the web, another for billboards. It was a mess. Now, the new way is all about knowing. You can target a specific neighborhood with one single, smart, unified plan that works across every single one of those channels. For decades, this has been the puzzle. How do you find the right people in the right place with a message that hits them on their TV, their phone, and on their commute to work? And here's the kicker, the really hard part. How do you pull all of that off without crossing a line and invading their privacy? Nailing all of those at once has been the holy grail for this industry. But a recent announcement, a pretty big breakthrough, might just be the key that finally solves that puzzle, especially up here in the Canadian market. It's a major leap forward in how advertising actually gets done. So here's the headline. Horizon Media Canada has just become the very first agency to get on board with a brand new platform called Vividata Spatial. And trust me, this isn't just some minor software update. This is a move that could seriously reshape the entire advertising landscape. And just so we're clear, Horizon Media isn't some small-time player. We're talking about the largest independent media agency in all of North America. So when they make a big move like this, you can bet the rest of the industry sits up and pays close attention. And you can just hear the excitement in this quote from their president, Robert Jenkyn. He points out that this isn't just about making better ads. It's about designing smarter strategies that build deeper audience connections. It's about making advertising less annoying and a lot more relevant. And because of that, way more effective. All right, so how in the world does this new tool actually work? How does it manage to get that incredible, down to the postal code level of detail? Well, the technology comes from a company called Vividata. And these guys are the leaders in Canada for understanding what consumers do and how they interact with all kinds of media. They're basically the data powerhouse that makes this whole thing possible. The process itself is basically a powerful three-step journey. First, it all starts with Vividata's gigantic national survey, the study of the Canadian consumer. Then it uses some really clever technology to take all those big national insights and project them down to a tiny local level. And finally, step 3, it lets advertisers like Horizon build and activate campaigns that can reach those exact audiences no matter what device or media they're using. Now, a huge part of what makes this so revolutionary is this idea of cross-media. What that really means is an advertiser doesn't have to think in silos anymore. A TV campaign over here, a digital campaign over there. For the first time, they can see the entire media landscape all at once and build one single cohesive strategy that works everywhere. And the secret sauce, the engine that makes all this incredible detail possible, is the Polaris Intelligence tech from a company called Manifold Data Mining. They're the ones who figured out how to take that huge national data and make it super relevant on your street. Okay, so we've got the agency, we've got the data provider, and we've got the tech engine. But what does it all mean when you put it together? Why is this partnership such a big deal for the future of ads? Well, here's why that unified view is so important.
Before, an advertiser might have poured money into digital ads, not having a clue that their ideal customer in a certain neighborhood actually sees a ton of billboards on their commute or still loves reading the local paper. Spatial lets them see all of it: TV, streaming, digital, billboards, print, and put their money where it's actually going to have an impact.
And this is what they mean when they say it levels the playing field. It means traditional media, like a billboard or a newspaper, can finally be planned with the exact same data-driven precision that used to just be for the online world. It gives every type of media an equal and fair shot.
So when you zoom out, the big picture impact is crystal clear. For businesses, this means sharper, way more relevant ads, a lot less wasted money, and a much deeper understanding of their customers, which leads to results you can actually measure. And for us, it means we see ads that might actually be useful for a change.
Pat Pellegrini, the CEO of Vividata, really just nails it with this quote. He hits on leveling the playing field and understanding the who and the why. But then he mentions something absolutely critical for today: doing it all in a privacy-compliant way. This whole system was designed from the ground up to be safe and respect user privacy.
So let's go back to that ad for the coffee shop down the street. It wasn't a random guess. It wasn't spooky. It was the result of incredibly sophisticated data and technology, all designed to be more efficient, more relevant, and a whole lot smarter than anything that's come before. The ads we see are about to get a lot more personal.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. Now that advertising is becoming this surgically precise, what's next? What happens when an ad knows not just what neighborhood you're in, but what aisle of the grocery store you're standing in? Now that's something to think about.